So happy Tuesday, everyone. You should have seen the presentation. So by now you should have completed the attendance quiz, moved on to your discussion response. After the discussion response, go ahead into typing.com and we will come together back at 10:45. Want to give you some time to work in. Hey, Joseph, want to give you some time to work in your typing.com. So let's go to typing.com. Make sure on the discussion response, you have given me complete sentences, and make sure with you pay attention, close attention to your punctuation. Also make sure that every sentence begins with a capital letter. So guys, make sure that when you are typing your responses, either in discussion response or in the attendance quiz, that you make sure that you, if you have not, please start now. Beginning a sentence with a capital letter, and each sentence should end with the correct punctuation. All right, so I'm going to give you until 10:45 to work in typing.com. And I can also see if you're working in typing.com. So please go there and start working. Damien, what do you mean? Did you sign up for typing.com? Let me look and see, Damien. See if you're set up. Because I'm not sure what it asks you. I don't see that. Let me see. Let me see if I can see my list. Damien, I do not see. I'm going to put it in the chat, so give me a minute. I'm going to put it in the chat. Well, I tried to put it in the chat. I don't think it will. Okay. I don't know if I'm going to put the link in the chat. It didn't want to. Let's do it again. Hold on, let me see. No, that's not. Hold up, y'all. I'm trying to get the link, trying to paste the link, and it don't want to add right. So hold on. Okay, click on that link right there, and that will take you to typing.com, and it should give you the info to get set up. So if you have not got set up with typing.com, please use that link. Nevaeh, you still hadn't received your invite yet? Oh, you got your invite to Canvas? Okay, let me check it. That way I can cancel that appointment I had set up with Mr. Hudson so he could help us. Let me check Canvas. I am glad to hear that, though. I am really glad to hear that. Okay. All right. Great. Awesome. So what time did it come in? Because I know that you emailed me this morning. What time did it show up, pop up? At 10. Okay. All right. Because I know this morning I just emailed probably about 15 minutes ago. So let me respond back and let him know that he does not have to set up a Google Meet, that you are good. Okay. So did you make sure hey Joseph. All right, Mr. Hudson. So you don't have to do the Google Meet at after class. So that's great. So evidently when you send an invite for people to join Canvas, it doesn't do it then. It must wait a while. I mean, it must take a couple of hours or the next day because I did it yesterday.
As long as we're good to go, sounds good to me.
All right, that sounds good. So you doing okay this morning?
I am. How about you?
Doing good, doing good, doing
Good.
good. Just trying to, try to get my class going. They be sluggish in the mornings.
I know. I know it's early for these guys.
So right now, what they hopefully are doing, because I do teach business education classes, I want all my students to be proficient in typing. So what I am doing, I have set up with all of my classes, they have to set up with typing.com. So I'm making each class. So every day, to make sure that they are following through with it, they are doing a lesson or two, however quick they are, in typing.com, because I want them to build up their accuracy and their speed in typing, because I find that most students only know how to do that one finger pick. So they're going to be in the business world, learn how to type up those research reports and all that good stuff. They need to learn to type.
Yes.
So that's
Very, very true. It's a very good skill to have.
yeah, because you got to go back to the basics. So that's what we're doing now, and I can see it. I'm going to start assigning it where they get a quiz grade for each lesson that they complete, and then I want each one of them to at least be able to type 35 words per minute. But my goal is for them to build that speed up to 45 words per minute. So with typing.com, you're able to look at the reports. You're able to look at the accuracy and all that good stuff. So
Nice.
I'm really making them do that, and then we'll go into our lessons and stuff. So that's what I
Okay.
have to do. Yeah.
I thought you said something about 10:45 is when they were going to finish their typing and come back.
Yeah, we're gonna come back and we're gonna learn about today. We'll be learning about communication styles. So
Good.
that'll be something for them. So communication styles is something that as being it's normal. It's just different types of communication styles, and everybody communicates differently. So verbal does not always mean talking, although we think verbal means talking, but it does not always mean that. So
Sure.
that's what we're doing.
Oh, that's awesome. That's why I like sitting in on class. I get to, talk about fun stuff too, or hear you talk about fun stuff. It's great. I love this kind of stuff.
Did you see my little presentation, my little slideshow? Did you see
Earlier?
it?
No,
I try to have motivational quotes. You didn't see it?
I saw a little bit. Mr. Houlihan was in here talking, and he just left a second ago.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I try to do that every so often. I started that this week. I try to always be inspirational, and I want to uplift them, because I know that even with us being virtual, it's still hard. And even if we were face to face, it would still be hard. So you have to have something to be motivated. And I try to be motivated anyway. So they know me.
Great.
We are a down to earth class. We have fun. I like to interact with my students. So we just laugh. Yesterday, in my first period class, I was telling my students, I said, now, make sure to do one of your lessons at home. I was saying it, and so one of the students after class said, Miss Hargrave, did you realize what you said? He said, I don't think anybody else picked up on it. He said, you told us to do one of our lessons at home. He said, now technically we're at home. I thought I didn't even know I said that. I didn't even realize it.
You know what you mean, Miss Hargrave. You went outside of class.
Yeah. So I told him today, I told the class a few minutes ago, my first week, I said, see, y'all didn't even catch it, but Jonathan caught it. I said, see, that's why y'all need to pay attention. Because sometimes they'll come on here and like today I was trying to reach a couple of them. You can't give them the answer because they don't pay attention. I think once they log on, they log off.
I believe it. I believe it. I mean, I've talked to several students who have a hard time with motivation, so it's good when I
Yeah,
do see them in class and do see them trying, and maybe
yeah.
someone I've been giving computers to or whatever, and then you see that growth, so it's exciting.
Yeah. So, they're a mess. They're a mess. So yeah, I'm starting to give them time to do that. And then I check the roll. I have a paper roster, so I make sure that I check the roll. I like to keep my own paper roster um of their attendance too. So I do that.
You have if you need it, right? You've got everything on Canvas.
Huh?
You have everything on Canvas, so your digital roster, if you need it, you just prefer to do paper.
Yeah. Now what I do, I'm gonna tell you what I also do. I do an attendance quiz. I always put an attendance quiz every
Sure,
day so
sure,
I
sure.
can check and see they done it. But I have not paid attention to it. I'm sure there is a roster. Now there's a roster on at Canvas. Does it say roster or what does it say?
I think it just says people. That just tells you like
People.
who's
Oh
enrolled in
yeah,
the
you can
class.
see what
Right,
they
right,
check
right.
in.
Yeah.
Now I used that last time when we went virtual when the outbreak came because I used it. I would check on it once a week so I could say, okay, when are my students? Do they check in this week? But I have not done that since we started because I used my paper roster in the attendance quiz. And I noticed now that it gives us a report, a different type of report, where it lets us see. I don't know. I don't think I hit anything where it'll print out after, because I record all my classes. But after that, it'll show me all the students, what time they logged on, and when they logged off.
Oh wow. Okay. I did
So
not
it's
know
like,
that.
yeah, it's called meeting something, and it'll give you, and you can print that off. It started doing that. I want to say, was it Wednesday or Thursday of last week? I noticed it. I don't know if it's something that I hit by mistake, but I'm not gonna take it off. So I have that, and I did not know that when you type in things, it'll also give you that, so you can have that. I think that's the second part of your class recording. If you hit the it's like a paper. If you hit that, it will show you um everything that was typed in the chat, so you can have that as documentation.
Okay, very, very nice.
Yeah, that, yeah. So got about 4 more minutes and we're gonna get the show on the road. But like I said, we're gonna learn about communication styles. We didn't really get to it on yesterday, so we're gonna try to get to it today. And then I think they have a little assignment that they can work on. We've also previously went over last a few times. We went over business, how to type a business letter, doing the format, and then we went over how to create a complaint letter. So we did that. So I haven't looked in their folders. I created each one of my students a folder, so hopefully they put their work in a folder. And
That's
they have
going.
a hard time putting work in folders for some
I was
reason.
gonna say, is that going okay? 'Cause I know some other students in other classes have had kind of a difficult time in Google Drive with creating folders and putting things in them. And
Well, the folders, I created all the folders and I sent them an invite. So one of my students that's actually in this class, he says what he does, he saved the email that I sent him about invite to collaborate using with that folder. He says he saves that email, he opens it up every time, and then he'll
goes straight
put
in.
it work in it. Yeah. So I don't know if there is an easier way, because I thought once I sent them that invite that and they opened it up, I thought it automatically saved in their Google Drive, but
It
I don't know.
should. I mean, it should. And then from then, if you save your own files, it's just as easy as like right clicking and moving that file to that folder. So,
Yeah.
if anyone's stuck with that, then, I can go over that or, whatever we need to do at some point. So just let me know.
I will, yeah, because they're having, so they still want to email their assignments, which is great. But I tell them, I think sometimes when you I think sometimes stuff gets lost in email. And I want to make sure that's why I create the folder. So I says, so everything is in your folder, you know.
And attaching files can be hard because email
Yeah.
only keeps files so big. And yeah. So I agree. Keeping it in the drive is easier than just sharing it. So I think the kids are still kind of learning that. And, you know, again, if I can help with any of that, if you or anybody else, just let me know.
All right. Well, I greatly appreciate it. I do.
You betcha.
So we got about one more minute, then we'll come together. So we get these lovely students started.
I really do wish I could work with them in person. It's so much more rewarding. You know, I miss their energy.
But anytime that you want to come in, now you personally have an invitation. Anything that you want to share with the class or come in, any topic, just hit me up and you can come on in.
Okay.
I greatly appreciate any speakers, anybody who has knowledge on anything. Anything will help the students. So anything that you want to talk about, you can use my classes, all of my classes. So
Okay,
anytime.
well, thank you. You've got very different classes, so I have to think about exactly what you're teaching in which class, but I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah. And it doesn't matter, you know, we can always juggle around. I don't always go from A to Z. Sometimes I will change things up. So I don't always stay from, you know, start at A and we got to end at Z, because that to me is a little boring, and I try to make things interesting for the students. So
good. I think that's the biggest thing, is just change it up. You know, don't expect the same thing all the time. Keep them guessing. It keeps them engaged. I think that's great.
Yeah, that's what we do. All right. So let me get them started. We're going to see how this thing goes today.
All right. Well, I'm going to go to the background, but I'm still listening.
Okay. All right. Hey guys, again, happy Tuesday, career management class. Hope everybody is doing well on this Tuesday morning. Before we start, are there any comments, questions, or concerns? I'm glad to see everybody in the place and hope you.
Tuesday is terrible.
Nope, we don't
have
it.
I've been sick for 5 days.
And you know what? And you sound awesome. And you're going to get better. Each day you're going to get better. So we're going to have a great day. And I already know that you're going to feel better because I already told it. I put it out there. So hopefully everybody has completed the attendance quiz, and you have also done the discussion response. And the discussion response, let me look at it. Let's see what I put out there. So let me look at some of the things that you put out there. From time to time, I want to go over our discussion responses, not just to have you just to write something and then we never go over it. We never briefly discuss it. So let's see what we're doing. Let me look. If you bear with me just a few moments here while you collect yourselves. So in here, and I need to print out something too. In here, I asked you, give me a minute. I thought I had my printer on. Describe what good communication means to you. So please, and I asked you to use complete sentences. I want y'all to make sure that you're using complete sentences. So if you'll give me a moment, I wanted to have something printed off. I forgot that I had my printer turned off. So I'm not going to call names. I'm just going to read some of your responses. I'm going to ask you about what does good communication mean. What is good? What does it? Let me see. Describe what good communication. I can't talk today. Describe what good communication means to you. So in your responses, it says good communication is when someone speaks and you can fully comprehend what they're saying and being able to relate in certain areas. That is awesome. That is awesome. And that is true. So true. When someone speaks and you can fully comprehend, meaning you can fully understand, or you can understand what they're saying and you're able to communicate back. Sometimes, a lot of times, I think it's not necessarily that people don't know how to communicate, we often don't want people to know that we don't understand what they're saying. And it's good for us to say, do you mind repeating that? Or what do you mean? I think oftentimes we don't want people to know that we just don't understand. And it's okay. You might not understand what they're saying. Or sometimes, now, to be honest with you, sometimes we might not understand because we wasn't paying attention to what they were saying. So another response said, says, good communication is good for me because I get my point across and people will understand. Hopefully they will understand. Hopefully they will understand. You have to be in communication. Make sure that you are clear. Make sure that you are clear. I am noticing that a lot of you are missing the discussion response. So let's make sure that before we go, another response says good communication to me is when you can understand what another person is saying. That's right. When you can understand what another person is saying and you're able to give feedback. Make sure, I think there, that you haven't, a lot of you haven't done, and the discussion response is in modules. You know that the discussion responses are in modules, and it is dated discussion response 10/27/20. So let's make sure that we are going back over, before we leave class today, that we are doing the discussion response that's in modules. So I want us to we're going to get into learning about the different communication styles. So I have something printed that we're going to go over, try to go over a little bit at the end. What I want to do is share my screen with you. So I hope everybody is paying attention. Also, I want to make sure that you are putting your work into the homework folder that says second semester. So it'll say homework folder second semester. And Kenny, I will check in just a minute. Let me make a note. And anytime you're having trouble submitting work, let me know. I don't care how many times you ask me and I have to show you. That's what I'm here for. I want to make sure that you're putting your work in the proper folders. But let's go right here, if we will. I'm going to share my screen. And sorry for the noise, my printer's still printing. So let me go back. I see this is not where I want to be at. Let's get it here. And I may have to go into this. Let's see. Okay. I think we're getting there. Just slowly but surely. You know, sometimes you have to do things. All right. So, what I want to discuss, let me get down to that. And remember, all of our assignments are in modules. So there shouldn't be any issues with you finding your work, going back to look at anything. Some things may be locked. But so what I want to talk about today is the types of communication. So that's what I want to discuss with you today, is the types of communication. And normally when we think of communication, we normally think of the first thing is verbal communication. And that is a form of communication. But I wanted to go over this with you so you have a full understanding of communication and the different types and the different interactions or gestures of communication. So effective communication begins and ends with your ability to see yourself as you are seen. You desperately need the ability to read an audience and to sense from their voice and body language, whether you're coming across the way you want to, so you can adjust. This comes from George J. Thompson, who has a PhD. Communication is the key to maintaining successful business relations. I want to go over this sentence again. Communication is key to maintaining successful business relations. For this reason, it is paramount that professionals working in a business environment have first-class communication skills. There are three basic types of communications. You have verbal, you have nonverbal, and written. If you want to succeed in business, you need to master each of these types of communication, because not just one type of communication is going to be sufficient or enough for the work environment. So let's talk about verbal communication. And we see that these two images here, probably we all hopefully have experienced verbal communication talking through cans. And you see the little strings going here. I do remember, I think I remember doing this when before school, even before when I was in daycare in preschool. That was so fun to have the cans. Um, you hold the cans up to your ear, and the other person had the other can to their ear, and that was your way of communicating. And we thought that was just the greatest thing, and it really was at the time, and it still is. Verbal communication. Verbal or oral communication uses spoken words to communicate a message. When most people think of verbal communication, they think of speaking, but listening is an equally important skill for this type of communication to be successful. So yeah, it's okay to speak, to be able to talk, but you also have to be able to listen, because if you're not listening, you don't know what they're saying. So you're not able to give feedback and you're not able to respond. Verbal communication is applicable to a wide range of situations, ranging from informal office discussions to public speeches made to thousands of people. Improving your verbal communication skills can help you to foster better relationships with your coworkers and maintain a large network of contacts that you can call on when necessary. So, if you don't have good verbal communication, that's okay. But you need to build upon it. You need to work on your verbal communication skills, because there will be times when you are in a business class. A lot of you will become your own CEOs of your own company. You'll be doing public speeches, whether it be in an organization, your place of worship, whether it be a youth organization, different types. So you must learn how to speak, how to communicate, and communicate effectively. Nonverbal communication. Now, this is something a little bit different, just a little bit different. Nonverbal communication includes body language, gestures, facial expressions, and even posture. Nonverbal communication sets the tone of a conversation and can seriously undermine the message contained in your words if you are not careful to control it. For example, slouching and shrinking back in the chair during a business meeting can make you seem underconfident, which may lead people to doubt the strength of your verbal contributions. In contrast, leaning over an employee's desk and invading his or her personal space can turn a friendly chat into an aggressive confrontation that leaves the employee feeling victimized and undervalued. Have you ever talked with someone in person and felt you were not hearing the whole story or even the truth? If so, you were living the old saying that actions speak louder than words. The person's body language was giving you a different message than the person's words. So pay close attention to your body language, rolling those eyes, smacking those lips, going from side to side, that gives a bad image of you as well. Body language is a silent communicator in face-to-face communication. It's the messages that come through facial expressions, head movements, gestures, spatial relationship to others, and posture. It's the picture that's worth a thousand words because it portrays an individual's true thoughts and feelings, regardless of the words the person is saying. Excuse me. By observing a person's body language, you can often gain insight that will be useful to you when working with others. You'll obtain clues as to when to clarify what you said, when to ask questions, when to stop talking, and when to change tactics. Here are some of the things that people could be communicating through their body language. So I want us to make sure, I wanted to put this in, excuse me, a PowerPoint, but I couldn't get it to do the way that I want to. But hopefully I can get it, and because I want us to, we're gonna go over this. This just won't be the only day that we go over it. So it says when people cross their arms, they are telling you they are defensive, resistant, or cold. So, or it could mean they're not paying attention. So crossing their arms. Maintain little or no eye contact. They are telling you that they're uneasy or disinterested. That's why a lot of times people say, well, can you look at me when you're speaking to me? I'm not a real big person on eye contact as far as people have to look at me, because sometimes I feel that when a person doesn't give you eye contact, sometimes they're shy. So I don't want to force the issue. But it is good to make eye contact. You don't have to look at them like just stare at them like you're a zombie. But every so often, when they're talking, make eye contact. Or when you're talking to them, make eye contact. Because you want them to know that you mean what you're saying, or you want them, or they want you to know that, you know, they want to know that you're listening. You focus, when people focus their eyes straight ahead, they are telling the truth. That says they're telling the truth or concentrating. So anybody that can focus straight ahead, they are concentrating. Now, I'm not necessarily saying they're telling the truth, but they're definitely concentrating. When they look down, side to side, they are telling you they are lying. That could be saying they're not interested. Or some people really have to do concentration. They have bad concentration skills. When they look up, when people look up, they are telling the truth, thinking or recalling something from the past when they look up. Or something, that's very sentimental, that means to them. When they clear their throats, they disagree or uncertain or deceptive. When that means maybe, okay, now I don't agree with what you're saying. Or okay, maybe they can have something in their throat. Right now, I have a little cold. So if they nod their heads, they agree or understand. And sometimes so, sometimes not. Sometimes you disagree and you say to yourself, okay, I wish this person would hurry up. But I want them to think that I'm paying attention. So there's other ways of getting around stuff. They nod their heads too much. They're anxious or they're nervous. They're anxious, they want you to hurry up and quit talking or quit doing whatever. If you're doing a presentation, they want you to stop. They part their lip. They want to speak or flirt. They part their lips. They open them up. They purse their lips. And they got them closed. They are angry or they disagree. They pucker their lip. They are uncertain or they're irritated with you. They tap their fingers on a surface. They are anxious. You can't see it now, but you cross your legs at the ankle. You cross your legs at the ankle, that means that you are relaxed. Or you like to sit with great posture. Some people cross their ankles. Okay? People who cross their legs at the knees, they are defensive. They rub their hands together, they are excited, happy, or cold. Well, that's just suggested that they do. They touch their nose frequently. They are lying or uncomfortable. or they like to touch their nose. In this day and age, you don't need to be touching, excuse me, your nose. They lean towards you. They're interested in what you have to say. They lean away from you, they are threatened. So we're going to go over this more, and a lot of these feel to be very true, and they are. We've seen these. Most of us have seen all of these gestures before. We just never really paid attention, or we know what those gestures mean. When somebody cross their arms, oh, they're about done with you. So another type of communication is written communication. Written communication is essential for communicating complicated information, such as statistics or other data that could not be easily communicated through speech alone. So sometimes you got to write down formulas, you got to write down data because people need to see that data written. Written communication also allows information to be recorded so that it can be referred to at a later date. Written communication could be simply notes that an instructor or things that are important will write them on a board or write them down. Okay. When producing a piece of written communication, especially one that is likely to be referred to over and over again, you need to plan what you want to say carefully to ensure that all of the relevant information is accurately and clearly communicated. Written communication must be clear and concise. Clear meaning straight to the point. Concise is don't be lengthy with it. Short and to the point in order to communicate information effectively. A good written report conveys the necessary information using precise, grammatically correct language without using more words than are needed. So when you write a report, write what you have to write to get the information across to make the person who's reading the report understand. Don't have a lot of verbiage, a lot of words, a lot of stuff. When you can go from A to B, and people can get it without having to go from A to Z. By improving your verbal, nonverbal, and written communication styles, you can be more successful in all areas of business, whether you're managing others or working as part of a team. The ability to communicate effectively can improve relations with your colleagues and help you all work more effectively together. So you see in this little thing here, you see it has, "Hey Charles, what's up? I'm well, Barney. Thank you." You see how communication, "Hey Charles, what's up?" Okay, verbal, nonverbal. You see this couple here, and they are holding hands, and they're looking at each other, and they're smiling. So we know that it's a cozy relationship. We know that, and see the little heart. So you know that means that they have a relationship and they're in love. Here, writing a letter to the boss. Okay, make sure when you're writing a letter to the boss, you don't your words not all written in capital letters, because that could mean that you're upset, angry. Make sure that you write the letter, and if you are angry, do not write a letter to your boss at that particular time. Make sure you wait till you calm down, and you can write a letter that is calm, and that will also be effective. Visual. You see your visual. Another style is visual. So visual is what we see. Like this person is at the computer screen, okay? So I wanted to talk with you about communication styles, because I'm pretty sure that we are used to one that we think of only when we say communication, we think of talking. But there are other forms of communication. So what I want us to look at next is there is an assignment, and let me go back to it if I can. And then I want y'all to work on that. And I'm going to, because I don't think I've taken down my, look at my roster for today. So hold on, I'm going to show you. Hold on, give me a minute. If you can see right here, I want us look at if you go back, the 102 types of communication study guide. The two types of communication are verbal communication consists of, if you will go back to what we just went over, the communication styles, that will help you answer this. So what you'll want to do is probably the best way. You should be able to go and type in, once you click on it, you should be able to type in on these blank lines. If you find that you cannot type on these blank lines, I would highlight it and copy it and paste it into a Google Docs or a Word document. Hopefully all of you downloaded the Office Essential Office 365, and everybody has the Word document. You have your Word. But if you don't have Word on computer, you can highlight it, copy, and paste it into a Google Docs. But I would love for us to start using Word more. There's nothing wrong with Google Docs, but Word is what you will be using when you enter into the workplace. So let's work on that. But I want everybody right now to make sure that you have completed the discussion response. And I'm going to share my screen once again because I want to make sure that you guys are following. Because I saw a lot of people, and tomorrow we're going to discuss some things that we didn't get to discuss today about communication. Because communication is not just a one-time deal; it's a lifetime of community. We communicate all our lives. So there's some other stuff that I want to show you. But everybody, please make sure that you have done the discussion response. It says 10/27/20. Please make sure you have done that by the end of the day. And I also want to make sure that you are following up with doing your attendance quiz. Some of you will come on here and will not complete the attendance quiz. So I want to make sure that you're doing that. If you guys would give me just a few minutes, you know that I always like to take down my paper roster. I like to make sure, although I can tell who is on here, but that's just how I like to operate. Hi, Ayana. I hope you're doing well today. Please make sure that you do the attendance quiz. Everybody, if you have not done the attendance quiz, please make sure you do the attendance quiz. Please make sure you do discussion response. It says 10/27/20. And if you have not done typing.com, you will do typing.com at home today. I'm going to start putting it in as a quiz because I want to make sure that you are following through with that. This is just not something that, I want you to do. It is a requirement, and I will put it in our grade book. So therefore, I know that you would do it. If you don't do it, then you know what grade that you will receive. Hey, Jacob. How are you? Hey, everybody. And I'm just caught because I hadn't seen some people in a while, and I'm glad that they are on here. Guys, as always, I want to encourage you to come to class every day.
Hey, Miss Hargrave.
Hey, how are you?
Good.
I think I sent you an email the other day, but I don't think you responded back to my email.
I probably my charger was in my mama's car, so.
Okay, and she told me she emailed me, but anytime, just reach out to me once you got your charger. You could have sent me an email. Say, hey, Miss Hargrave, how are you? I didn't get a response back or anything.
My bad, Miss Hargrave.
All right, because I want to keep up with all my students, because students, you are just not my students. I care about you deeply. So anything that you need to talk with me about, email me, whatever. We can do a Google Meet. Or if you're having trouble with homework, I'm here for you. So I would love for y'all just every now and then, just if I email y'all can email me back. Y'all don't even email me back.
Yes, man.
All right, but you have a good one. But I want to make sure you do the attendance quiz, Jacob. So go do the attendance quiz. Make sure you do that attendance quiz. And go ahead. Make sure you mute. Are you in? Make sure you mute your button.
All right, I got you, Miss Hargrave.
Okay. So everybody stay right here. I'll make sure that I get everybody. Hey, William. How are you? Did you get a chance to talk that over yesterday? If you didn't, please do it today. Let me see. David, David not here? I don't have David today. Nate, let me see. Do I have Nathaniel? Let me look and see if I have Nathaniel. Nope, no Nate today. Neftali, no Neftali. Damien, I thought I had Damien on here earlier. Damien, what? Because didn't I have David? Damien was on here earlier. Alexi. Noel. Tristan. Okay, guys. So what I want to make sure everybody's done the attendance quiz. Make sure you do the discussion response because the discussion response is part of your grade. If you didn't do typing.com, make sure you do typing.com for at least 30 minutes today outside of class. And also get started on the communication study guide. So I want to make sure that you do that. So those are going to be assignments that are going to be due in the next day or so. So we'll go over that tomorrow. Also, career chats. I didn't get a chance to post the links, but you know that I will. We're going to host, Mr. Tundrell is going to host 2 career chats this week. And one of them is going to be dealing with being a veterinarian. One of them is going to be dealing with being a physical therapist. So they'll start at 10. One will start at 12. You know, with my career chats, if you come on, stay the entire time, you will get a quiz grade for coming on, staying the entire time. And if any of you have any attendance issues, you can come on and get your attendance, day of attendance taken off. And remember, you know that I host my remediation sessions Monday through Thursday, 3:20 until 4:20. And then I have 3 sessions on Friday. So don't forget that, guys. Some of you need to come on here and do your work, do your current work. Some of you need to make up attendance. So please make sure that you are attending my sessions. As always, I love you, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Okay, everybody? Talk to you later. Have a good one, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye, everybody. Hope everybody has a great day.